'Tis the season for giving, but for thieves, it's the season for getting.
Mercado is accused of killing Ilona Flint and her fiance's brother Sal outside the Macy's department store in Mission Valley last Christmas Eve.
A 2-week manhunt for a third suspect in the Christmas Day fatal shooting at Alamoana.
It was Christmas and I was a freshman in high school. My family has been split up for some time, so normally we trade off Christmas Day and Christmas Eve each year. And this year, I had come home early from my grandparents' Christmas party, while everyone else was at my aunt and uncle's celebrating another party. When I was dropped off, my cousins offered to stay with me for a few hours, but I declined. I thought I could watch some of my new DVDs and get some alone time in this house, which is a rarity. I had noticed an unfamiliar car parked on the street, but didn't think anything of it, considering it was Christmas Eve. Probably a neighbor's relative or something. After I got inside, I locked the door, grabbed snacks, and started to settle down. I hadn't been home for more than 15 minutes when there was a knock at the door. I unlocked the door and opened it only a crack to see a man standing there. Dark hair, glasses, slightly overweight and dressed casually. He didn't look like much of a threat, but my stomach dropped. He asked. I was wondering about the car outside. Is it for sale? I told him I don't think so. Is there someone here I can talk to about it? I said, quite stupidly, no, you can come back another time. And I shut the door and turned the lock as fast as I could. He reached for the door handle immediately and started pounding on the door. I heard a string of profanities and a pounding stopped. Terrified, I was crawling on the floor to the phone, hoping he wouldn't be able to see me through one of the windows. Then I heard the noises. Our house has an open garage door, and it led through to the laundry room, where the door lock was broken and no one had bothered to fix it. Just then I heard a man yell and I saw the man through the window run to his car and drive off. My uncle had gotten him, just in time, and he scared him away. Who knows what would have happened if he hadn't made it home in time. Sadly, we didn't get the plate number, and nothing ever came of it. But I'll never be home alone again on the holidays. This story takes place 4 years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. It was Christmas night, and my family were driving home from the fancy restaurant. I, unlike my family, was tired, so the 45-minute drive seemed perpetual. On top of that, my little sister was constantly moaning about how her friend didn't get her anything for Christmas. After about 20 minutes of driving, my dad stopped at a gas station to get some cigarettes, and my sister, brother, and mother all got out to pee. I stayed in the car, and I already had gone before we left. Once they all left, I decided to play a few games on my phone. I looked at the car clock, and then I noticed that 10 minutes had passed, so I immediately wondered what was taking them so long. As soon as I peered out of the car window, I saw a man staring at our car. The man startled me, as I didn't know how long he had been watching. What made it even more unnerving is that he had a plain blank face. No expression was shown. It was hard to make out any features as it was pretty dark, and he wasn't standing in the illuminated part of the station. He was about 5'9" and looked to be middle-aged. Once he saw me notice him, he started walking towards the car. And I'd be lying if I told you I was not scared. Luckily, my dad came back with the rest of the family just as the man took a couple of steps. My dad apologized and told me he had been in an argument with the cashier. I didn't care. I was just glad that my dad was with me. I took another glance at the man outside, and he was still staring, but this time, he had an annoyed look on his face. We drove off, and for the rest of the car ride, I couldn't stop thinking about this man. This wouldn't have been too bad if it had ended there, but it didn't. Later that night, I was watching YouTube while everyone else slept, and luckily for me, a storm was raging over us. I enjoy storms. It makes me cozy as I'm lying in bed. I put my phone down and just enjoyed the ambience. That didn't last for long as I heard something smash into the window behind me. I lurched forward and nearly fell out of my bed. I thought a bird had just smashed into the window. I parted the blinds and what I saw next hunted me. I saw a man standing out by my parents' cars, looking up at my room. I took a closer look and I nearly had a heart attack. It was the same man that I saw at the gas station, only this time, when our eyes met, he grinned. Being the 14-year-old I was, I did the manly thing and screamed at the top of my lungs. My dad came running down the stairs and entered my room. "Why the hell are you screaming?" he said. I told him about the man and I explained everything that had happened. My dad grabbed a baseball bat and told me to call the police. After 10 minutes, the police turned up outside our house and found the man in our shed. He got arrested, and that was the last time I saw him. The next day, my dad inspected the house and we found the handle of our back door had been played with and damaged, but not completely broken. This gives me an eerie feeling as if he actually managed to get in. He could have harmed us, or even possibly killed us. It was Christmas time around 1995 or 96. We were all at my aunt's house on a reservation of North Dakota. Some of my family was in the living room watching television. The kids were playing in the rooms or sleeping. And my uncle, aunt, and I were all sitting at the table, putting a puzzle together. My cousin who worked at the casino would come home around midnight or 1 a.m. This night, as she pulled up and she was walking toward the house, she looked in the window and saw me sitting at the table, my uncle sitting across from me, and someone standing to the left of me, and someone standing in the corner. So she continued to walk into the house thinking nothing of it. When she got inside the house, she said her hellos and put her stuff away and came and joined us at the table. As we were sitting there talking, she looked at me and asked, who was standing next to me a few minutes ago and who was in the corner? I told her no one, and she said, yeah, there was someone standing next to you. It looked like your mom, and she was playing with your hair. I have long hair in which, I used to wear down all the time. She said this person was running her hand on my hair, like a mother does a child. It kind of freaked me out, being I was probably only 12 or 13 at the time. My cousin swears up and down that someone was standing over me rubbing my head and watching me put the puzzle together with my aunt and uncle, and that there was another person standing behind this person. We got around to thinking it was probably her mom she saw. She passed away on her birthday a week before Christmas back in 1992. In my family, we consider our aunts and uncles to be just like our moms and dads. After thinking that it could have been her, it didn't scare me so much. However, we couldn't figure out who the person was standing in the corner. And always around Christmas time, something strange always happens. And we just think it's her visiting. Or is it?